So for today's video, I want to talk to you about my very positive cesarean section experience. In the previous video, I talked about how my son was in breech presentation as of 35 weeks. So my OBGYN tried to flip him through the external cephalic version procedure at around 38 weeks, but unfortunately, he didn't move. The farthest we got was for him to turn from breech to transverse, and then he didn't budge after. So we gave up, and the doctor scheduled me for a cesarean section like a week after, around 39 weeks and 3 days. On the day of the C-section itself, we were asked to arrive or to be at the hospital as of 6 a.m. So thankfully, we only live like 15 minutes away from the hospital. So when we checked in, the nurse immediately told me that she was going to take some blood samples just to be sure before my procedure scheduled at 7:45. So originally, my doctor told me that husbands cannot go to the OR because of the pandemic. But when he came in that morning, we were so lucky because he told us that that morning itself, he got an email that at the hospital, husbands can go in the OR once again for cesarean section. Even though I trust my doctor, like it's really different when you have like a support person with you, whether it's like a regular like normal delivery or if it's like a cesarean section. Like it's really different when you have someone you truly know there with you, right? So I was super happy. And after the check-in, took the blood sample, my doctor came in. So we were headed for the OR. So I was waiting in the hallway, like they brought me in the OR area, but I wasn't inside the theater yet. I was like outside the theater door. So I waited there for like I think 10-15 minutes while they prepared everything, and I think my doctor was waiting for the anesthesiologist as well because he had to do some paperwork, and also my husband had to do like a questionnaire because he had to like he was allowed to go in with us, so he had to answer like a specific questionnaire. So that kind of delayed some things, but we officially started um I think around 8:15, 8:20, or yes, around 8:15 I think, or 8:05, something like that. So I was super scared of the anesthesia because I asked my doctor initially, like, can I have an epidural instead of a spinal? Just because I was so scared of the location of the spinal anesthesia. But the doctor reassured me that, this anesthesiologist has been doing his job for like a really long time. So I had the spinal anesthesia. So you're gonna have two injections. First is like I think it's a local anesthetic that would numb your inside area, and then the actual anesthesia itself. So the first injection, I could only describe it as it's as if an ant bit you, but like a really big ant. So they asked me to sit up, and the assistant of the anesthesiologist like went to me and told me that I could hug him so that I could really like curve my back in such a way that it would be easier for the anesthesiologist to inject me. So like I really hugged him hard because that first injection really stung. And after that, he did the second injection, which I only felt a bit since they put the local anesthetic first. And I would say within a few seconds, I felt like my legs were tingling, and then within 2 to 3 minutes I was numb from the waist down basically. And so they positioned me because I couldn't feel like my extremities anymore, my lower extremities. So they positioned me, and then my doctor came in. He didn't even say that he was starting already. Like I only noticed because there was a certain sensation wherein you feel like, when you're looking through your purse and you're looking for keys, for example, or your phone, like you feel like someone's like looking for something inside of you. That's how I would describe my experience. Like you feel the pressure, but you don't feel the pain. And I swear, within like 5 minutes, the doctor said like baby's out at 8:25. So I was so happy that that procedure, that part was really fast. So my husband was able to take some pictures, which I'm gonna insert. And the baby's waking up now, I think. No. So after that, they just cleaned up the baby and they brought him rather to me. And my husband was able to take some photos as well. And I think around 5 minutes after that, they took him out with my husband because basically the doctor's gonna sew me back up, right? So that part took a bit longer, I think 20 minutes or so. And then they had to bring me to the post anesthesia care unit, or the PACU. We call it PACU in the Philippines. I don't know if they call it PACU here as well. But yes, they brought me to the post anesthesia care unit and I had to be observed for like an hour just to make sure that everything's fine, like my vitals are good. And it was so scary because when the anesthesia was like slowly like wearing off, like I was touching my legs and it felt like I was touching like rubber. Like it's so weird. Like you feel like something else. I don't know how to explain it really. But that's basically how it went at the PACU. My vitals were okay. It's just that when the nurse was asking me to wiggle my toes, like in my brain, I was wiggling them. And in the first two tries, I think, like physically, I wasn't doing it. Like in my brain, I was wiggling them, but then, like she would say, like nothing's happening. So I think it took about 4 to 5 tries before finally she said, like, okay, now I see a little bit of wiggling. So after an hour, she sent me back to my room. I had time with my baby. We did like skin to skin, and I tried to make him latch onto me right away. And I had no milk at the beginning, but then they said it was okay. We actually supplemented with formula with him because I didn't want him to be hungry, number one. And he was also jaundiced. So, usually, with formula milk, I was told that jaundice would like go away faster with it. But then now, basically, obviously, I have milk already. But yes, during the first week, it was a struggle. But yeah, we made through it. And around the eighth hour post C section, the nurse took out my catheter and the anesthesia like completely wore off during that time. And this was the start of basically the time that you would feel pain. So I felt like pain. It felt like I was stabbed like 100 times inside. But thankfully, I didn't need any narcotic because you can take like Tylenol 3 as a medication for pain. But I was doing well with naproxen and Tylenol. I didn't have to take the narcotic at all. So the moment that the nurse took out my catheter, I told her that I want to get up, and she also encouraged me to get up, basically. And I told her that yes, I want to try to get up and at least walk from my bed to the bathroom, just so it could speed up, like the healing process. Because I didn't want to stay in the hospital for too long, especially with what's going on, right? I didn't want my baby to be too exposed at that point. So she helped me get up and it was so hard. I was so swollen. Like I'll show you a pic of how swollen I was post C-section. Like here was so big, my lips were swollen. Like yeah, I was just basically so swollen with all the fluids that they gave me during the C-section. So yes, with the help of the nurse, I was able to get up and we were able to go home 2 days after. And because of my gestational diabetes, they were also checking for my not only my blood sugar, but they were checking my baby's blood sugar, which he all passed, thankfully, because I was diet controlled the whole time anyway. And I was just so thankful for all the staff at the hospital. My doctor is the best. I really, really love him. And if we're gonna decide to have another baby, I want it to be him again, hopefully. So, yeah, that was basically my experience at the hospital. Everything went through smoothly. So thankful that We didn't experience, like, I didn't experience anything negative at all. I was so scared of the whole surgery, but you know, when the baby doesn't want to turn, the baby doesn't want to turn. Like, everything happens for a reason. So I was just so thankful that it was a positive experience for me, because I didn't think that you would have a positive experience giving birth through C-section, actually, because it's like a major, major surgery. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. I'm going to try to answer them as much as I can based on my experience. But like what I would always say, just be sure to speak to your healthcare professional first. They're the ones who have your complete medical file. They're the experts on your case. So always, always consult your doctor. And if in doubt, you could always ask for a second opinion anyway. So, yes, that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.